Yes. Yes, can you see my stream? Feedback check. Yes, can you see my stream? Class, can you see my... Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay, class. Okay, I'm gonna start my briefing. Okay, enough with the chat. So, okay, as thank you for responding. Thank you for your response. Okay, thank you for responding. Okay, okay, for today, actually, sorry for the delayed colloquium. Okay, so for today, what I'm going to do is actually will be the briefing on the application. So I think most of you have started to search for supervisors. Okay, so I hope that you already contacted them, had some discussion. Okay, okay, class. Um, Here is the one that usually during every semester before COVID, okay, I'll make a briefing in week 10 or week 11, and then I'll show you the briefing on what you say, briefing on how to do the submission and all those things. But since now we already started PKP for the whole nation today, so we've been doing it through online for the past since last semester. Okay, so how it works is, okay, most of you I think already know on PSM1. Okay, so okay, how to do, I first for the tentative today, I'm going to start with how to apply, I mean the procedures, and then later on I'm going to discuss with you on the topics, do and don'ts. Okay, and after that we're going to have a free FAQ. Okay, okay, can you please suggest one person right there, okay, if you understand what I said just now? Okay, I hope everybody can hear. Okay, first foremost, okay, this is the Google form page in which I will update in the group on the link, so no worries. Okay, if you notice here, okay, this is the form name. Okay, and then you have the instruction here, very simple: submit your verified project application form here. So the final decision, always remember, is on the PSM committee. Okay, when you say final decision, I'll explain to you. Okay, each supervisor have their own quota. Okay, quota means there are numbers of limited students to be supervised by a supervisor. Okay, so there are different numbers, and I explain to you why. Okay, for normal lecturers without holding any top management position, the number is 8. When I say 8, is including PSM and PTA. Okay, because we have undergraduate project and also diploma. So total together for this semester is 8. Okay, so once the number is 8, so you have to contact and ask the supervisor as usual whether you can be your supervisor. And the numbers is different. There's another term right now that are some lecturers who will be not actually teaching next semester. So for them, the names are already submitted and we'll update the list. Okay, because there's another addition. So that list of names you cannot apply for next sem's PSM1. For PSM2, they will remain. Okay, so for this semester PSM1 will remain with them, so next time they will be PSM2. So for you guys, you cannot apply those names. Okay, you have to find for others. Okay, okay, next. Okay, for those who do not want to go through this hassle of finding supervisor, okay, down here later on, just down here, you just write down your metric ID, your full name, you write your project title none, and then potential supervisor, you just pick no supervisor. Okay, and then you just upload the empty form. Okay, so that's all for the ones that doesn't want to go through this hassle of finding supervisor. So for those who actually it's okay to have anyone as supervisor. Okay, just submit as I said so. Okay, for those who are interested to do projects with certain supervisors, okay, before you approach them, okay, make sure you already have some titles and some explanation. Okay, that means you can use this form. Okay, fill in certain details first. Okay, and then you contact your potential supervisor. Okay, let's say your potential supervisor agrees, fill in all the details of the form as much as possible, but the minimum is you should have the project objective, the project scope, the title, and the supervisor name. And then you need to have the verification of the supervisor. So if there's the link I already shared here, if you click on the link, okay, you will be redirected to this form. Okay, for this form, it's only in PDF and it's Malay. So I'm sorry for the ones for our expatriate students, because this one is been used for I think more than 10 years. I hadn't made the translation yet. So if you don't understand the details, you can contact me, or you can even ask your friends. So inside this form, okay, you have the PSM. This is the old code, but the details are all the same. So your semester will be semester 2 2020 to 2021. Okay, and here you have to fill in your details. That means your name, your year, your course, okay, and then your IC number. If for our expatriate students is the passport number, and then you have your metric number, your handphone number, and also your email. And this one you can send more than one suggestion. That means you can send more than one application. Okay, but the limit is two applications per student. Okay, you can have, if you have the same supervisor with if you have let's say 2 titles, that means you have to use 2 forms. Okay, that means, but my suggestion is the titles can change during the semester. That means when you do your work, you find there are some changes that you need to change the topic, so that's fine, as long as you remain with the same supervisor. So if the supervisor is the same, just one form, one application is enough. This is for me actually to register you under the supervisor if the quota permits. Okay, okay, next you have nama penelia. That means your potential supervisor, your title, and then you have the objective. Okay, and then you have the scope. That will be minimal, okay, for you to send. And then this is If you're doing like IoT project or something, you need to mention here what are the things. And then this is the type of your project. What is the type of your project? You might be an SE student, but you might doing a networking project. So if you um, let's say you don't have any supervisor, but you have only idea. For those who doesn't who don't want what you say is okay with any supervisors, but you have topics. Okay, you can write down your topics here. Okay, so you choose what is the domain of the project, either CS, SN, SE, or GMM. This is not your program. Okay, this is the nature of your project. So for student might do a mobile application. So you take the computer science type of project. Okay, and then this one is the part that you put the date. Okay, this one is maybe first is the title from you or your potential supervisor. Remember, each time if you go to meet your supervisor, make sure you bring some title first, discuss with them. And then after that, let's say the supervisor has his own idea, discuss. And then this one, decide whether your title or your from your lecturer. Date, sign, your signature. And then this one is to be filled in by your supervisor. Okay, so this one, your supervisor, they know how to fill it because they are doing it for years. And then make sure they have their stamp. They say they have their old stamp, is okay, as long as they have their stamp here. Okay, this E part is for the committee part. Okay, once you already have this form, okay, once you have this form, okay, then you fill in, you access back this Google form. You fill in your email, your ID, your full name. Make sure all are capital letters, okay? And then your project title based on the form. And then pick here who is your supervisor, okay? Potential supervisor. Except for the names that are not allowed, okay? And then you add your file here. So if you click on the button there, okay, add file. Okay, and then you select files from device, and then you just locate your file and then you submit. Okay, or you just drag it into here and then you click this button, upload button. Okay, that's for the application part. Okay, until now, can everybody understand? Can you reply in the Telegram? Class, can you add say yes in the Telegram so that I know that you are understand for the application part. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay, so now what kind of projects that you can actually apply for? Okay, so there are various types of projects that you can apply for. So what is most important part is that project should reflect on the knowledge and technical of what you have learned or more in the field of computer science. Okay, on the field of the computer science, in the part of knowledge and technical. Okay, so that means your project is either, it doesn't matter if you're a software engineering student, if you're a graphic student, or if you're a network student, you can cross-platform the projects. Should be no problem. Okay, as long as all the projects are within the computer science principle, and then that project must have knowledge and technical implementation. When I say technical implementation, for instance, you have IoT projects, okay? if you have IoT projects, plug and play is not a computer science project, okay? When you do a IoT project, you should have some algorithm you are using, or you're developing an interface that connecting the IoT devices, or you have some codes that you modify to show that this is the part of the solution that actually comes from you. Okay, so projects also can be a research type of project, but it will be an applied research. That means, for instance, let's say I think some of you know machine learning, artificial intelligence, neural network. Okay, so the principle of these projects is you have the implementation of the algorithm. That's why you have to show your implementation. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's a plug and play, but you still have some design solution strategies that you use to solve the problem that you mentioned. And then another strict thing is you must have what I call as implementation or development. Implementation, that means you propose a solution and though you implement the solution. Plug and play, that's why I said plug and play is not a solution. Okay, you bringing all the sensors, you're connecting all the sensors, you are using the module from the let's say Raspberry Pi only is not enough. Okay, there must be a part in which you have the design solution. That means you design that solution and you implement that solution. Okay, that means let's say you in the IoT project you want to build up a dashboard that connects all the information for the devices, and then you build the interface. That is a implementation. If you just buy sensors, plug it in, and just to make it run, that is not a computer science principle project. Okay, for our definition of projects, PSM projects. Okay. Number two, surveys only are not allowed as a solution. Okay, that means the survey. That means survey you're using Google Form only is not an acceptable project. Okay, your project is need to have some solution and some design. You can use you can use existing web template. Let's say you're doing a web page, web page. You can use all the technologies you have, but what is your own idea inside the project? Okay, let's say you're using a MVC framework, for instance, or you're using any design pattern framework. So how you implement the framework will be seen as your solution. The tools out there is to support your project. Okay, class. So that's the type of project, because if you do only a survey type project, that's not allowed. But if you use survey to capture your problem, it's okay. And then from that problem, you produce your solution strategy, and then you implement the solution. That's permissible. You cannot use survey as your solution. Okay. So regarding the project, it can be any project as long as within the computer science principle. Okay, and the due date for this form submission is 7th February 6 p.m. That is Monday. Okay, by 6 p.m. Okay, if let's say your supervisor says he doesn't have any stamp, ask her to put the signature and you upload the signature. Okay, but first please ask her to put her stamp first. Okay, our stamp are still using the old address, so it's okay to use that stamp. Okay, I think that's for my briefing. So can we start for our Q&A session? You can write your... Okay, so I read the questions here. Okay, so can we start for our... Okay, okay, if no supervisor entitled means we need to submit empty form. Yes, Alif, but my recommendation is look for some titles so that I can actually assign you to a supervisor that is related to the topic. Okay, So that will be much easier for me. Or else, you can get a supervisor, but it will be a little bit trouble for you if in the sense that it doesn't meet with your title that you want to do. Okay, for question from Azanuddin, I think you came in late. I mentioned that per supervisor is 8. Okay, that includes PSM and PTA. Do the project can be done in group? No, it's an individual project. So for now, our faculty doesn't allow capstone projects. So for now, we have to do it individually. So next question, Doctor, the form in English or Malay? The form is in Malay. So for local students, it's okay. For expatriate students, you can ask. I already explained to you on the sections. But if you have any inquiries, you can post the question in this group, and then I can answer um, here in the group. So next question. What different computer science project and software engineering project? Software engineering is part of a computer science project. If you look at computer science, it's what you call as it's a science that related to computer. So software engineering is part of it. Okay, software engineering devolves in the aspect of develop software solutions. Okay, so computer science, when you say the science related to computer, that also involves for other um, technical and theoretical aspect of computer. That means the network part, the database, everything. So there are a lot. Okay, hope that answers. Sir, if we were to use real device, which category it will come under, sir? Real device, if you say IoT or any devices, you can park it under computer science, CS. Okay, what if I have the general topic but not the exact title? Can I just put in the scope? Yes, you can put it. Okay, as long as, because based on the topic, even the topic is general. Okay, actually you can make it. You can categorize it into 4. But if you, let's say, if you don't know in which category to put, okay, you can ask me. So I'll let you know what's the category. So Khairul Azanuddin, do the project has specific theme need to be implemented, such like COVID-19? Do the project has specific theme need to be implemented? What do you mean by theme, Khairul Azanuddin? Doctor, where can we refer previous FIP documents for reference? Okay, thank you for the question, Vignesh. Okay, actually before this, we had the, what you say, a system called FiProcom, in which we store all the theses there, and students can see the title. But I create and initiate now, because since this is COVID-19, we can access the system. So I'll create a link. Maybe on Monday or Tuesday, I will share it to you. All the documents, previous projects that is done by your by seniors. So it's kind of limited, and I don't say that is the best projects, but you can have a look, okay, so that you can get a feel or idea of the project. Okay, and Amirul Zafri, can network student find software lecturer SSV? Yes, you can cross domain. That means you can, if you're a network student, you can go find even software or even graphic lecturers. Any faculty of competing lecturers can be your supervisor. Can software engineering do game as project? Yes, and you can have diversified project not related to your program but also on other program. A software engineering student can do a graphic and multimedia project, no problem. Doctor, if there is any possible for students will not get any supervisor, no. That's where the committee task will come in, because the committee will ensure that all the students registered, okay, will have a supervisor, because the supervisor will have the evaluation for the students. Just to on the note, just to let you know early, okay, supervisors hold 60% of the evaluation mark, and evaluators will have 40% of the evaluation mark. So the 60% will be throughout the semester, okay, 2 times before the final presentation and then another time during the correction. So that will be 60% from the supervisor. Okay, Khairul Zanuddin, if we decide to make a game, may I know what type of game can be made? This one is more towards on actually your personal preference. You have to make some search on the games that we have, maybe serious game, for instance, like serious game, okay, game that involves with education logic. So you may decide to do that kind of that kind of type of games. But this one you have to discuss with your supervisor. Okay, I'm not that familiar with this game type of project, but there are a lot of projects involved of game, or also we call it as serious game that involves teaching teaching or education concept. Wong Wei Sing Teo. Okay, I already answered that. The application form need to be handwritten or typed. Up to you. You can use the Adobe to write, or you can print it, write it, and then scan it back. So it's up to you. Do we need real client for the project? Yes and no. Yes, if you have real client, this is one way of getting good projects. If you have real-time problems that need to be that can be solved through computer solutions, that's the kind of project that actually I will give vote for, because you're solving a real life problem. And during the testing, if your client if is okay with the system, then you're kind of success of implementing your project. So having real client for the project is good, is really good, is highly recommended. Okay. Okay, doctor, if there any possible for the project to be redundant? The title might be redundant, but the scope might be different. For instance, I give you, let's say, inventory management system using model view controller design pattern, or inventory management system using um, let's say bridge pattern. So same topic but with different techniques. Okay. This usually happens when you have the same supervisor. They might ask you to do in different techniques usually, but we highly recommend not to. Okay, sweet. Thank you, doctor. Okay, I'm not that sweet for now. For now, I'm sweet. Okay, sir, if we did not enroll class for mobile app development, but FYP want to make mobile app, is it can? Yes, Nat, you can. The idea of implementation actually is not stick to the one that you learn. Okay, you can actually learn it outside of the classroom. You can use other tools than you learn inside your class. Okay, as long as you implement the project the way how the tools outside there actually allows you. Okay, so yes, it's not a prerequisite or compulsory to take mobile app class before mobile app if you want to do a mobile app project. It's open project. Okay, as long as it's within the computer science principle. Hi Izwan, if we already have an idea in mind, do submit our form first or discuss with our potential SV before submitting the application form. If you have a preference title and you have a supervisor in preference, directly discuss with them your idea. And if they agree, okay, make sure you sign the form and submit by the due date. Okay, before the due date is possible. Because supervisor has quota and will see the one that submit first. Okay, I usually will ask the committee will usually ask the supervisor. Okay, if the supervisor has more than the numbers of the quota, but usually supervisor know their quota, so they will not sign exceeding their quota. If I want my project to be related in networking, but I don't have specific supervisor and no title, should I just mark my major in the form? Yes, you can. Okay. Remember class, if let's say the ones that doesn't want to apply any project or feel that he doesn't know much lecturers here, so he let it be. So you can put your title there. Okay, you can put the scope of the project, but highly depends on the quota that is left also. Okay, for the committee, we will try as much as possible to actually give you the priority will be for those who have supervisor and being signed, and we hope the second one is the one that you have title and we assign the lecturers that are related to the domain as much as possible. But if you don't get, you can discuss with that supervisor on the project that you want to do, and then you see how it goes. Okay, apa yang menyebabkan PSM 1 gagal? Okay, that's kind of good question. Okay, there are two parts. Number one, if you did not submit anything to your supervisor based on the rubric. Okay, we have rubric for the 3 assessment of supervisor and assessment for the assessment for the evaluator. If you don't follow it, then you can fail based on the marks that are given. Another two, there are a lot of usually the main problem with PSM1 is the communication within the student and supervisor. This is a very simple advice, but I hope it's powerful advice for you. Okay, for all of you in this group. Okay, when you do a project, there's always a progress. Okay, you don't regress, you have always progress. Either you have some or you don't have. Okay, so whatever the thing is, please communicate with your supervisor. Okay, if you're stuck, okay, or even if you, let's say, you just even notify them a little that what are you doing right now, okay, that will be a huge boost to your getting you good marks. Because usually in projects we have one-to-one negotiation. That means you and your supervisor keep a good communication with them, update with them. If you are stuck, please ask them. Okay, if you are stuck, don't be silent. That's the two different things. Okay, yes, like Ashraf said, sikap lah. That's the main part. But you have to do your part. Okay, find the domain, find the problem, do the write-up. For PSM1 is write-up. Most of the things is write-up. Okay, make sure you follow all the write-up, show to your supervisor, discuss with your supervisor, have an active relationship with your supervisor, okay, on the project. Okay, Yeshuan, doctor, is it possible to do similar topic title that are already existing in real life market? Just an example, something similar like hotel booking. Yes, you can, but you have to have some difference your project with the existing one. For instance, let's say you want to do a Uber type of application, okay, but you are focusing in the scope of, let's say, in UMP. So you want to create like a Uber for the ones that have cars, okay, students that has cars want to do car rental, okay, you do a Uber type of application, can, okay, there must be some merit to your project, not a copy paste project. Okay, okay, welcome Nat. Siapa nama sama-sama ni? Aduh, letaklah nama sebenar. Follow up to this question, sir. Any tips on what to do and not what to do for PSM from little things in our PSM that we might pass to bigger things? I think I already explained with that. The most important is submit what you do. Have a good relationship with your supervisor. Always communicate. If you're stuck, also communicate. If you have some progress, communicate. As as possible, just once a week. Okay, update to your supervisor. Just write there, sir. This is for your for my update of my project. So what you have done so far, and then if you not have done anything, also just write there and then why. Okay, supervisors understand. The most problem faced is actually when students keep quiet. When they don't have any progress, that's the biggest problem. Okay, and Ramlan, a doctor, let's say I wanted to do data analytics, should the raw data supposed to be related to network as well? Hmm, I don't know. I'm thinking that you're saying either this one is like the project type. If you have a title, don't worry about the project type. But if you don't have title, okay, at least you tick there was the project type you want. That will be easier for me to find, because data analytics we have in all domains. We have in software, we have in CS, we have in network, we have in graphics. So um, take which one is related to your data analytics project. Okay, doctor, where can we find the thesis format to write for our FYP? This question will be in our first colloquium during the first week. Okay, there during that colloquium, I will explain to you what write up, what type of format, what are the contents, everything. Okay, that will be the question in our first colloquium, official colloquium during the start of the new semester. Okay, Tanta Cheng Mik. Doctor, can we have the example to write our FYP? Yes, that's the next semester. That one during the colloquium, we have samples, examples on how to write the even for every sections. I already made the video and also have the slides. Okay, so that one will be shown there during our first colloquium. Okay, any more questions? Class, any more questions? Okay. Doktor, maka lulus berapa? 40. Normal, just as summer subject. Doctor, it's true that for PSL1 you already have the template? Yes, yes, Ain, you already have the template. Everything's there. For now, the first process is the application part. Because once you have the application part, then I sit down with the committee and then go through back all the quota, see back and everything. And then after the final release of the names, because there are students who also will be registering during week 1. So considering all that factors, so the latest you have your supervisor list is at the end of first week. That's usually for the every semester. Okay, Jason Hugh, which field does VR AR development fall under? CS or SE? GMM? Chibok, what will it be if the students didn't submit any form in the Google Docs after the due date? This is an interesting question, and it always happens. There are situations in which students can be categorized in one group. These students who didn't submit form, and also students that had not registered yet. So this group, they will be assigned to any supervisors that are available based on the quota. Okay, so you can choose not to submit, but if you submit, at least I know that you are want to have any supervisor as long as within the quota. Okay, Amirul Zafri. So for now, we should focus on find the topic, find the lecturer, find in the forms, fill in the forms. Yes, Zafri, fill in the form. Okay, any other questions? Okay, the next question. Meaning is the raw data can be anything, analysis on year-end audit report. Yes, you can choose have specific domain data, or you can have any openly stated data. But your project type will be data analytics. Okay, it's okay, Amirul Zafri, no problem. So any other questions? Oh, four people are typing. Okay, while you guys are typing, just forgot to see. Here we go for the question. The project is individual, but can we help each other if we have same as we or project type asking for a friend? I'm answering for you, for your friend, and everybody. Yes, that's why the spirit of doing the projects is individual, but you can actually discuss, okay, and help each other. There's no problem, okay, as long as your friend or the ones that developing the project develops the solution. But in terms of discussing idea or helping in some part of the project, is no problem. Okay, don't overdo yourself. That's all. Doctor, when we approach SV, does we need to attach a proposal to? Yes, because you need to have the title. When you approach your potential supervisor, bring some ideas and infos, discuss, and it's okay. Then you write the form, and then you give it to your potential supervisor. Ask them to at least to sign, okay. And then when it's done, um, you have to put inside the Google form, okay. Okay, next. Any questions? Yes. Regarding on this group, okay, you can feel freely message in this group, okay. You can discuss in the group, okay, as long as not related to the political or sensitive issues. You do that, you break this rule, I'll just remove you from this group, okay. Number two, the message from in the group, okay, from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Okay, I'll just update. Okay, after that, you can type the question here, but I will reply. If I deem it's not urgent, I will reply it next morning. Okay, so you can discuss freely in this group within you guys, no problem. Okay, okay, Chibok. Just now, sir said that the application form also need to be filled in by our supervisor, right? So we just need to send the media copy to our supervisor since we are now in the PKP situation. Your supervisor's part inside the form is actually to have her signature and stamp. Yes, you submit them the soft copy. Okay. So they usually have their stamps in soft copy. Okay. Okay, Cipok Sabrina. Doctor, we have happened to go back to UMP once MCU ends, but our PSM will be online, right? So do you recommend us to go back to UMP in so that it easy for us to discuss with our supervisor? Okay, thank you for the question, Sabrina. Okay, during this time is kind of uncertain, okay, because there was an initial plan from, I think, the announcement from the Ministry of Education saying that students from IPTA can go back to university, okay, okay, but as situation goes now, we are in PKP, so I cannot say anything yet. But the thing, if let's say let's say university deems that students can go back to campus, then you have to come back here, okay, but there will be the implementation of social distancing. So how the presentation will be done is will be known later. So if you ask me, if you need to face recommendation, so you can come back to UMP, but you have to know the risks, okay, and then you have to follow the procedures that been made by the university and also the ministry and also MKN. Okay, so just wait for the day-to-day announcement from JPA. Okay, they will let you know that whether you can come back or not. If you feel you want to come back, can come back because it's easier. I know it's far more easier to discuss face to face rather than online because some of you have internet problems. Even I know now, I think not most of you are actually seeing this, but it's okay because I do understand on the situation from your part. Okay, so Alif, doctor, if we do IMS type of project, what count as bringing our own solution? Maybe you can do it a mobile version or dual web and mobile. Maybe you can, if you're doing just a website, maybe you can apply design pattern frameworks. Okay, there are some that those are some examples that I can give you. Okay, doctor, I already approached my potential supervisor. She is reply to me okay when asked me to fill the form with my initial idea and send her. So it's the form that you show us now. I'm not sure whether it's the same form that you use, but try to compare. If it's the same form, then you can use whatever you send to her, or else you have to fill in the form that I given, because that's the official form from the faculty. Okay, any other questions? CB18069. Okay, no metric terus. Do we still having online class next semester? Something that even I cannot answer. Depends on the situation how it goes. For now, as the current situation, it's online. But if there's any announcement from UMP, then I will let you know. Doctor, if you already submit the title topic, then when we do the FYP, suddenly you want to change the title topic. Is it can or not? Yes, you can freely change the topic during the semester. Okay, don't need to resubmit back any form. Okay, this form is to make sure that you get the supervisor that you desire, if possible. Okay, so if let's say currently doing different project and then you change the topic pending on discussion with your supervisor, and then yes, you can change, because at the end during the before the final before the presentation, I will ask the update from your supervisors on the title. Bob, does the link is already available for us? Sorry, a kind of lame question. Now it's a good question, not a lame. I haven't shared yet Google form. I will share after this our live stream here. Is there a possibilities that we get lecturer that is different from our scope and do we have to change our topic according to lecturer? If you get the supervisor that's not your preference and you have your own title, do discuss with them. The most important part is you have a good discussion with them. Okay, try to convince them that the idea you want to do, and they might also have some ideas or they might say yes to your idea. So discuss with them. Where can we find the form or when? um, Azanuddin is in the Google form link here. Okay, so you click the why is not working? Okay, so here's the form. So what you do is you click on this button, you can download the form. Okay, then you can open the form. Okay. Okay, welcome Maizatul. If there's no question, you can write there. No more questions. Or is there any other questions yet? Okay, I think that's all for today. So yes, okay, just for the last questions, last 2 or 3 questions. See something typing. Someone's typing. Okay, I think that's all. Okay, if you have any questions, you can post here after this, and I will try to reply as soon as possible. So after we fill in the form, then we share the form to our design supervisor to complete the form, isn't right? Yes. Amirul Zafri, in case we have any further question, is okay to ask later in the group after this meeting? Yes. That's why the purpose of this group. You can ask question here so that I can answer and everybody can see the answer. Okay, this group will be continue be using until you finish your semester, your PSM2. Okay, later I will rename when you enter for PSM2. Okay, so if nothing else, that's all from me. Okay, so I will share the link for the Google form in a while. So if nothing else, thank you. So I see you at the open of the semester.